Yes. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode number 23 of the Swoosh Hoops podcast. Name is Eric L. We got Armani. Also, we got Ernest on the check in. And yes, it is playoff time. We are
Yes.
officially, well, not officially, but we're still in the
After tonight
NBA
will be
playing tournament after tonight. Tomorrow starts the NBA playoffs. So we just had a couple days that we had playing games starting Tuesday night with the Brooklyn Nets beating the Cleveland Cavaliers to clinch the number 7 seed and playing the Boston Celtics in the first round started Sunday. And also he had the Minnesota Timberwolves coming back against the LA Clippers and beating them, and then they'll face the Memphis Grizzlies in the first
it was
round.
a it was
Were
a
you
shining moment.
were you guys surprised about that?
No,
I picked the Timberwolves to beat the Clippers.
Okay.
no,
I the thing what I was surprised at. We can get into it as we talk about the plane in a few minutes.
I
But
feel like I know where you're going.
I was surprised that somebody that was a big cat, a
There
tiger.
you go.
A couple weeks ago. You know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
saying? And then when the lights came on,
Meow.
turned into a kitten. Um, but yeah,
But
yeah.
a couple years ago, back in 2018, you had that playoff series against the Rockets. He didn't show up either. So,
Mhm.
Just saying.
yep. So also, on Wednesday night, he had the 9-10 games with the Hawks destroying the Hornets.
Yo,
Another,
Yeah, that was expected.
but
Who
the
the
Hornets
thought?
did
thing
not.
is,
They didn't come to play, man.
Eric,
like,
did you pick the Hornets?
no, I picked the Hawks,
Oh, okay. I felt like
and then
you picked the Hornets in some capacity. I felt like.
I picked the Hawks, and they had the Spurs and the Pelicans. The Pelicans winning that game against
That was
the
expected too.
Spurs. So
What
we have
pisses me off.
tonight.
Jesus Christ.
So tonight you will have
It's all
the
right.
battle
It's
of.
all right.
So
It's all
tonight we
right.
have the battle of the number 8 seeds, the Hawks and the Cavaliers. First game, and then the second game would be the Pelicans and the Clippers. Winner of the first game would play the Miami Heat in the first round. Pelicans Clippers winner will play the Phoenix Suns in the first round. So give us your recap on the Tuesday and Wednesday games, and we'll do the playing week, the playing tonight's preview, and then we're going to do our predictions for our first round opponents,
Okay.
first round playoff series. So
Um, I guess I'll go.
mhm.
First game, Brooklyn and Cleveland. It was pretty much expected. Kyrie was definitely on fire. I remember I hit you guys up in the group chat. Was like, yo, like he's hooping right now. You
Listen,
know,
Ramadan Kyrie is a different breed, man.
it's untucked jersey Kyrie, and it is Ramadan Kyrie.
Yeah,
But
I
they
told Eric this, but yeah, go ahead.
they definitely came to ball. Just Cleveland couldn't get it rolling. So the Nets they definitely smelled blood, and they was able to capitalize on the opportunity right there. That's pretty much it. What else did we had? We had the Clippers and the Wolves. A very entertaining game. A very entertaining game due to everything that came like after the game with the whole Pat Bev situation. I just think that Ty Lue, for a good chunk of the game, Ty Lue was out coaching like the team was coach, and
Chris Ford.
getting there you go, thank you, getting Cat into foul trouble. Cat wasn't able to produce, but the Timberwolves found a way to spread the wealth through the rest of their players. That's what D'Angelo Russell is there for. That's what Anthony Edwards is there for, to shoulder the weight when Cat is not producing. But it still backfired because the T-Wolves were still able to prevail in the end, and then when you get Pat Bev and he gets the fans and the energy behind him, like the T-Wolves haven't only made the playoffs once since 2004. Like that's really crazy to say, you know. But with all of the players and stuff that they had some pretty good players in the past couple of years. But um, yeah, Pat Bev was just able to get the fans on the Wolves side, and they were just able to prevail in that situation. For the Pelicans and the Spurs game, for some reason I was just on the Dejounte Murray hype train, man. I thought they was going to pull it off. I thought Coach Pop was going to come through with the massive, with the greatest game plan to shut CJ McCollum down and Brandon Ingram. But nah, like same thing. Is that home arena? It's something about that home arena, man. Having home court advantage that you just can't be stopped, especially for a team who hasn't made
Not
the
in
playoffs.
not in a place that's called the Smoothie King Arena. All right.
Hey,
What what really was that people got to stop sleeping on Brandon Ingram and how elite
no
of a
facts,
scorer he is.
facts, facts.
Um,
Mhm.
like we already knew CJ was an elite scorer. Like
Hmm.
you could go back to the series. What was it? The series I believe against the Nuggets, where Dame was struggling. It was an elimination game. It was either the Nuggets or the Jazz. Forget who it was.
Was it
Is it
back
And
in
was this
2019?
last season or
2018, I think it was
a couple
2018.
No,
years ago?
no,
Yeah.
it was 2019 Game 7 at Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Game seven,
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
CJ took over. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And Dame had a shot 3 for 17, I believe, that game. So like
Hmm.
we all knew that CJ was, but like what Brandon Ingram brings, what Bi brings is that mid range is starting to become like
Yeah,
automatic. Like you know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Hmm.
it's I knew Bi had it. Tonight I'm gonna need a generational performance tonight to put home the Clippers. Um, but I just think Brandon Ingram is really the X factor when it comes to that roster. If they want to, especially win tonight and move further into the playoffs.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
don't forget about Herb Jones and his masterclass he put on that night.
Yo, man.
So I'm gonna pump the brakes on Herb Jones. Everyone's talking about all the defense. All right, you're playing the Spurs, bro. Like, stop, stop, because you're not doing that. If Paul George is playing tonight, you're not doing that to Paul George. So let's pump the
I
brakes
mean,
and
great
and
players
then
are gonna get theirs regardless, though.
and then
Like,
and then. But yeah, exactly. What great player was on the Spurs the other night that he locked up?
right, right. I'm
Exactly.
just
So like
right,
everyone's all this hype with Herb Jones is elite defender. Okay, wait till he sees Devin Booker. Okay, like
right.
all that stuff get put to bed, man. Like I get it, he had a great defensive night. You know what I'm saying? But like let's slow down. Let's slow down on Herbert Jones. Okay, let's slow down. Um, for the first game, as you mentioned, between Brooklyn and Cleveland. Listen, that was to me. I figured it was going to be a no contest because without Jared Allen, you know the, the and the struggles with Karis LeVert, I think with that fit there, I didn't think they had no chance of winning that game. Yes, they made it competitive. They came back, because Brooklyn went up 20 and coasted almost, and then Cleveland just kept fighting. That's the team they are. They're a resilient young group. They're gonna fight. Darius Garland is a dog. And um, I just felt they had no chance. And when Kyrie's playing like that and he's that locked in, yeah,
At
this
one
is what
point, he
I'm
was 10
saying.
for 10.
Right, and this is what I'm saying to like the Brooklyn Net naysayers out there. I think we tend to forget how elite Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are. Do I have them winning the next series? We'll get to that, but like it's you can't just sit there and just dismiss like, oh yeah, like the Nets are not going to be a threat to anybody or whatever the case may be. Like no, they're going to be a problem. If you got to play them for 7 games, that's a problem. That's not going to
Mhm.
be an easy task. So I kind of figured they were going to kind of roll through the Cavs, rightfully so. And then obviously the T-Wolves and the Clippers. Here's the thing with that game. Like for one, obviously Cat did not show up again in a big moment. He plays like that against Memphis, they're getting swept.
Mhm.
I'll put it that way. But if Cat can play to his potential, is what we've seen. I see that series going the distance between 6 or 7 games, but Cat has to do that on a consistent basis. I don't know if he can, because he's very questionable in the moment. Um, Now, when it comes to like that matchup between them and the Clippers the other night, I still thought, even though Cat was struggling throughout the game, that Teals were going to win because the Clippers are lacking somewhat of like defensive perimeter players in a sense, right? They got Robert Covington, right? But aside from Robert Covington and Paul George, who's really a good defender in that team on the perimeter? Maybe Nicholas Batum, and that's really about it. they consistently kept. Remember, Noah
But
Powell came back.
he was mainly guarding. He was guarding Cat.
That's what
Cat
I'm
struggles
saying.
against small fours. Yeah,
But also, so now that leaves a liability because now they
right.
had Noah Powell that came back,
hmm
who's a great offensive scorer, but when D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards saw him, it was food. So
hmm
you know what I'm saying? Like I think the Clippers, even though they took the best player out of that, well, maybe a lot of people say Cat ain't the best player on that team. They may be Anthony Edwards, but even though they took rightfully so, he's the all-star. They took the best player out of that game. They weren't able to guard, the guards for Minnesota, whether it came to Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell or even Malik Beasley to a certain extent. So you know I always felt, and plus with the home court crowd, they haven't. The last time they've been playing for something was in 2018, and then before that it was 2004. So like the T Wolves don't really have a lot of success, and then on top of that, you throw in the X factor, Patrick Beverly. Like it all sets it up against the Clippers. We all know the how he wanted an extension from them. They kind of lowballed him on the contract. Then he said, if you're not going to give me the contract that I want to trade me, they traded him to Memphis. Memphis then I believe releases him or they trade him to Minnesota. So so all this is kind of coming full circle for him. He takes down the Clippers, a team that he gave his heart and soul to, and then now he plays the Memphis Grizzlies, who they've beaten twice already this year. One game that beats about 43. Let's not forget that.
And they hold John Morant to 20 points per game in that during those
so
matchups.
It's clear that Patrick Beverly bothers John Morant to an extent. It's clear that their length with Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley, McDaniels, like they bother those guys. So it's going to be a good series. Go on to the next game because I was about to give my prediction, but going to the next game. Listen. The Hornets got like there's this. I don't see a way where the Hornets can get better from what they have now if they keep what they have now, if that makes sense. Second straight year they get knocked out in the play-in. Second straight year they get blown out in the play-in. There's this, obviously youth, right, is an issue with that, and they're going to learn from this stuff, but at the same time, they need some veteran presence in that locker room to me. Who that guy is, I don't know. Again, there's been talks about Gordon Hayward.
It might be your guy.
It may
be your guy.
It may be Russell Westbrook. I don't know.
Maybe your guy.
We'll see. There's a lot of talk out there. Yeah, and we'll get to that segment when we do another show about offseason expectations for the 30 NBA teams. But and then obviously I feel like there's like this tug a little bit where like is LaMelo hesitant to like, hey, this is my team, is it Rozier's team, Miles Bridges, like where does all that then Gordon Hayward when he comes back in the fold, like so I just think Jordan needs to figure that out, what he wants to do, because you have all these contracts coming up. Miles Bridges is due for I believe a 4-year 173. You know what I'm saying? So like he has to make that decision. I don't think MJ is going to pay Gordon Hayward $31 million because that he has left he has 2 more years left on his deal, $31 million each. $31 million next year and 36 the following. And then Rozier 20. Rozier, you got 26 million. Rozier has 26. Well, Rozier is getting paid this year 17 million. And then for next season, 21 million. The following year after that, 2024, 23 million. Then 2025, he's getting paid 24 million. Then 2026, he's getting paid 26 million. So
wow.
Couple that together, and then on top of that, you got Miles Bridges who wants a 5-year, $173 million deal, which is a max. That brings you about $34 million a year over the course of 4 years. And then on top of that, you got LaMelo, who's going to be due after this season. So
Mm-hmm.
is MJ going to pay all that money to all these guys for
And
the
also,
next?
there's some talk about Mitch Kupchak leaving.
Right, yeah. So is MJ going to pay all those guys for the next 4 years going forward, or next 3 years going forward? I don't think small market. Here's a cool stat. In the last, I believe, 5 to 10 years, if I'm not mistaken, there were 2 NBA teams who have yet to pay the luxury tax. You know who's one? You know, the first one is the Seattle SuperSonics. You know who's the other? The Charlotte Hornets. Jordan does not like paying the luxury tax. They don't, so it's clear as day to me that
The Seattle SuperSonics? You mean the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yes.
Yeah.
F them kids. That's what Jordan's saying.
What I'm talking about in that year span, there were the SuperSonics too. So, but
okay.
But you got to also like Jordan with a small market team. I don't think they're going to pay that. So there will be some salary cap shed somewhere. Don't know where. A lot of expiring contracts that are out there called Russell Westbrook. So we'll see what happens. And then obviously the other game of the night, Pelicans and Spurs. Listen, as I said, the whole Herbert Jones thing, I get it, but who was he really guarding in that game? Keldon Johnson, who struggled. You know what I'm saying? Larry Walker, who struggled. You know what I'm saying? Like the DeJounte Murray was the one who had a marginal game, but again, the Spurs aren't good. They're not a good team. So yes, he had a great defensive performance, but let's just see that tonight. And let's see, because the Clippers, regardless of what you say, have scorers, and let's see if they win tonight. What does he do against Devin Booker and those guys? So, listen, I got the Pelicans winning tonight because the missing of Paul George. They're going to rely heavily on Terrence Mann and Norman Powell. Don't know if those two guys can get it done in a high pressurized game tonight. When I'm sure crypto is going to be filled with some type of fans. I don't know. I know there's like 5 Clipper fans, but it is. The arena will be filled.
Don't tell that to Daryl.
Probably much as it'll probably be filled with a bunch of Lakers fans at the demise of the Clippers and watch him just lose.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer and Clipper Daryl.
Yeah. And then obviously for the East tonight, it's a toss up because Jared Allen's supposed to play tonight. But I'm still gonna go with the Hawks because of Ice Trey. He's just unbelievable what he's doing. Yeah, man, and what he's doing has been unbelievable. The team is gelling in the right direction. I don't know the status of John Collins, but I doubt he's playing tonight.
I think he's out tonight.
Yeah. So, but I still got them winning, even though it's on the road in Cleveland. I just think Cleveland is just not there yet. So.
I'm gonna ask you guys this question because I asked you guys this question the other day before Eric goes. Who is the second best player on the Hawks?
Who? If it's not John Collins, or you like
DeAndre Hunter.
It'll be feeling like that sometimes. Yeah. It be feeling like Gallo sometimes, yo.
It's like musical chairs, basically.
It's honestly who's the hot. It could be
right.
Sometimes it's Capella.
It is,
or Bogdanovich.
Right.
Yeah. But now, that's why Trey is so good, though. Like that tells you how good he is.
Right. And I'm not saying that the second co-star like when you think of like the second star on the team, you think of somebody like Chris Middleton, right? Middleton is known for disappearing, but when the playoffs come, man, he's a mid-range monster. But I'm just saying, like, when you look at the playoffs last year in the Atlanta Hawks, Gallo was putting up numbers for these guys, And when I was watching the game the other day, Gallo was a big part. There was the reason why they was smacking the Hornets. So that was just like, you know what? Like, if John Collins is sitting down, if he's out this game, like, who's gonna be consistent for them and be hot? So, because like you just said, it's musical chairs, So I just want to ask that question.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I just think the Hawks are just cohesive as a cohesive group. I just think they're better.
It's like next man up mentality. Right. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, for sure. Eric, you got any last thoughts on the playing tonight before we jump into the first round predictions?
So I like the Hawks in a real close game tonight. Knowing that you got Trey Young, who's the closer, anything can happen. But they're in
He's
Cleveland,
he's
so
a Nick killer. Yeah.
yeah, I know, but still, um, and it's a Sixer killer too. So and it's gonna be a real close game. The fact that you got Jared Allen coming back, that being be an X factor. Darius Garland had a big game Tuesday night to see if he can propel his team into the playoffs. But I think at the end of the day, you got that closer, Trey Young, who can win the game for you single handedly. As far as the Pelicans and Clippers, I like the Pelicans. But it's gonna be a close game because the Clippers they played without Paul George for the majority of the season and won
Right.
games.
Hmm.
Remember they had the 35-point comeback at Washington. They had so
They
many
did it like
comeback.
twice this season.
Yeah, they had like so many games. They won so many games, being down 20 and coming back and winning. I thought they blew the game on Tuesday night. To me, they had a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go in the game, and then let Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell go off in the fourth. So
Hmm.
we'll see tonight. Tonight's gonna be real interesting. I still like the Pelicans, and I like the Hawks to win tonight.
Cool. Nice.
All I'm
Nice.
gonna all I'm
So
gonna say is I know I'm gonna
yeah,
get
go ahead.
some hate for this, but I'm gonna go with the
Uh
Clippers tonight because I'm not gonna count out
uh
Ty Lue, man. I'm not gonna count him out. That's the only reason.
no, I
I'm
get.
not
Hey, listen,
I'm not gonna count him out.
Yeah, man.
that's a legit reason.
Mhm.
Um, but also don't sleep. Willie Green's a very good coach too.
No, yeah.
Um, he
Mhm.
has think about that team and where
They started
people
off like
projected
3
him
and
to be.
16 or something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
started
So,
1-12. They started
so
one
As
and twelve to start
as
the season.
I would love Brandon Ingram to drop 40 on them, but I'm not gonna count out Ty Lue.
yeah, no, I don't blame him. I think the X factor, honestly, is Valanciunas for them tonight. Um,
Mm.
I think he poses a matchup issue for the Clippers because I don't think Zubac is a great defender. So Valanciunas can kind of maybe open up the floor a little bit, with his post presence, scoring in the side, and that way, Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum can kind of do their thing, so to speak. So, um, but as that concludes, right, we're jumping into the first round series, which starts tomorrow. A crazy amount of games tomorrow. We got the Warriors tipping off tomorrow. We have, we got the
So the schedule tomorrow is Jazz Mavericks to the first game to start.
yep,
The
yeah, that's the 1 o'clock
second
game. Yep.
That's 1 o'clock game. The second game would be the Grizzlies and Timberwolves. That's 3:30
Hmm.
start. The next the in the nightcap we got the Sixers and the Raptors, six
Yep.
o'clock, and then the
And
final
then
game is the Warriors and the Nuggets.
Warriors. Yeah. So we're gonna start with the Western Conference first. Obviously, we don't know who the Suns are playing yet, but we all predicted. Well, me and Eric predicted that the Pelicans will pull it out, and then Armani picked the Clippers. So, and who do you guys think would win that first round matchup? Clippers slash Pelicans, or are you going with the Suns?
Suns easy in five.
Suns. Yeah.
I say if the Suns are playing the Clippers, the Suns win that series in 5 or 6 games. Um, but because of Ty Lue's coaching, I think it's gonna be a masterclass of coaching between Monty Williams and
Hmm.
Ty Lue.
Hmm.
Um,
Remember they met last year's conference
They
finals.
they
right,
went
yeah,
to 6.
they
Yeah.
went
They
to
went to
6 games,
six. Yeah.
and that was without Paul George. At least through games, what
And no
4 to 6.
Kawhi. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, um, and then the Pelicans, if they play the Pelicans, they're beating the Pelicans. They're probably sweeping the Pelicans, honestly. The
Hmm.
Pelicans make it 1 game if CJ goes off, but I just don't see their bench is not as lethal. And either way, I see the Suns winning in 4 or 5 in that first round series. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Easy.
Um, the next, right, we have the 4 and 5 matchup, which is the Dallas Mavericks versus the Utah Jazz. This is a toss up to me
It
because
is.
of
Hmm.
Luka's injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's out for game one. He they said no timetable for return. they're hoping he can play game two. Supposedly it is a calf grade 2 strain, which is the same calf strain
Oof.
Kevin Durant
Kevin
had,
Durant.
and which turned into an Achilles tear because he came back too early. So it's and on top of that, Luca's heavier than Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Durant. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a toss up. But because of Luka Doncic's injury, I'm gonna swing Jazz in 6. I know Jason Kidd is a great coach. The Mavericks are 8-9 without Luka Doncic during the year, but in a 7-game series, you always have to look at, all right, who are the best players in the series? And every game, the Jazz are going to have at least two, or if not
Yeah.
three, of the best
Mm-hmm.
players on the floor at all times. So
Yeah.
evidently, I'm gonna have to go with the Jazz because if I don't if Luca cannot go after game two, or if he can't go after game one, rather, I don't think they bring him back this year.
Mm-hmm. If where I stand is if Luca plays, right, I got Dallas in 6, but if he doesn't, I got the Jazz in 5. I can only see
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Dinwiddie and Jalen Brunson only snatching one game from them. But I feel like that one game could be a game where the Jazz blow a lead because
Yeah,
they've been known
Mm-hmm.
for doing it the entire season.
yeah.
So
Also, so for my prediction, um, I have the Jazz in 6. So here's my thing. So with this injury for Luca, this is a must series win for Utah because now also you have to you hear the rumblings out of Utah. It's like if they lose in the first round early, you might see you might see some changes in
You might
Utah.
you might see Quinn
So
Snyder on the
Vince
Lakers bench
Snyder
next year.
talking about breaking up, preparing up Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So now with this injury, it now puts major pressure on Utah to win this series. It really does. Not that there was pressure before this whole Luka injury, but now it really puts the onus on Utah to win this series, or else there's gonna be some changes being made to that organization in the summer.
hmm
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's we'll see. How they look after game one tomorrow. And the status of Luca going forward. But this is a blow for them and an opportunity for the Jazz to kind of right their ship. Because if they win this series, it's going to be a tough series. The next go round. So, in the next matchup, the 3-6 matchup, we have the Golden State Warriors versus the Denver Nuggets. Now, um,
is Curry back?
Yeah,
Curry is back. He will
he's
he will
back.
be playing game one on a minutes restriction though.
Mm.
He will be playing on, but that's all hoopla to me. Um,
hmm
I got the Warriors winning this series in 6 games.
Yeah.
I just don't think Denver has enough. If it would go 7 if they just had Jamal Murray. Um, but they're not back this year. They're done for the year. They're not coming back. So um, it's only so much Jokic can do. He's been doing it all
hmm
year, but the 7 game
He's gonna get
series.
his.
Oh yeah,
He's definitely gonna get
he's
his.
Hmm.
he's going to average
He's
astronomical
gonna have a
historic numbers
monster
in this
series.
series.
Yeah.
But I just think with everyone else, um, you're gonna need, like, think about this. They're gonna need Will Barton, Bones Highland. They're gonna need Monte Morris to and Aaron Gordon to be like otherworldly to kind of on a consistent basis to win this series outright. So
Right.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to happen consistently. It may happen in a couple games in the series, which I predict, but other than that, I got Warriors in 6 in that first round.
Easy. Yup.
Yeah, I got Warriors in 6. Also the fact that you still got Steph, Clay, Draymond, they're all back in the fold. And also they've been struggling so much the second half of the season. I think they're ready to like turn on the switch and
hmm
prove to them that hey, we still here. The
Yeah,
Warriors are still back or back. We may have a new supporting cast, but the the nucleus of the championship Warriors. They're back along with Steve Kerr, so I think they're gonna make sure they prove themselves that they're still B team to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that they have. And I just don't think the Nuggets have enough with Jokic. And I think, and from the early votes that I've seen, that he's gonna get another MVP this year. So it's gonna be on him just to like facilitate the offense, just to like keep up with the Warriors for 7 games. I'm not sure that's gonna be enough. Mike Malone's gonna have his hands full, and I just think the Warriors gonna be going back to, okay, you're gonna use this first round to springboard us into momentum going to the next series. So I like the Warriors in 6.
Yeah. On to the next series. Probably the most intriguing that everyone wants to watch. Because of the sheer trash talking that's going to be happening throughout the series. Number 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies versus the number 7 seed Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, as I stated, Cat has to show up. If he does, it is a series. Because they, the T-Wolves are playing with house money. There's no expectation for them. They're happy to be there. They're getting the experience now to be in a playoff setting. Games that matter every single game, possessions that matter every single possession. And that's where I think they're going to fall through because of the inexperience. Um, not to and not to say that the Mavericks, the Grizzlies have all this experience, but they've been in the playing, they've been in the first round. So um, I got Memphis winning the series in 6. Only because I think with John Morant, and how complete this team is in every position. I just feel like the T Wolves fall to that. And plus, on top of that, I don't know if Patrick Beverly could keep his temper throughout the whole series. I anticipate some suspension or something. There's going to be so much vitriol and trash talking in this series, which I love, and I can't wait to watch it. But I just think it's going to be tough to kind of beat this Memphis team. 4 games out of 7.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think it's a toss-up series, but I still like the Grizzlies in 7. It's gonna be one of those nasty.
What the fuck?
It's gonna be one of
What
those
the
type of
hell?
series. Hold on. So it looks like Armani has technical difficulties. So hopefully he'll get back to us. But I just think it's gonna be one of those series. It's gonna be nasty, back and forth, real emotional. Teams gonna be getting technicals like every single game. You might see a little couple ejections, so you never know. So because these two teams, they have players who like are fiery. Memphis Grizzlies, they have dogs on their squad. Des um Brooks. Um Also you got Desmond Bain, John Morant also. Those are the dogs on that squad with Lauren Jerry Jackson Jr. The Timberwolves, you got I'm sorry, Anthony Edwards is a dog. D'Angelo Russell, he can still score with with that elite in that elite range. Um Also you got the Pat Beverly, that X factor. So, and the fact that if we can get something out of Carl Anthony Towns, this series might be pushed. I can see this series going 7.
I don't believe in Carlton Towns. That's the problem. And
That's
that's
it.
why I don't think
That's
it's gonna go that the distance that way. Um, because I just think that the pressure will amount a little bit too much for him, and he won't be able to kind of combat that. He needs a little bit more reps in the playoffs in that environment. Armani said that he got Memphis in 5, which is wow.
mm,
Pretty convincing there about the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, But now as we move on
Yeah,
to
I
the
meant to
Eastern
say Dylan
Conference,
Brooks. I'm going to say Dylan Brooks. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
now we move on to the Eastern Conference. Um, and obviously tonight we got the Hawks playing the Cavs for the 8th seed to play the Miami Heat. If the Heat play the Hawks, I have the Heat in 6. If they play the Cavs, I got the Heat in 5. Um, I just think Miami is built for this. Welcome back, Armani. We're on the Eastern Conference now. I know you picked Memphis in 5, which is very convincing for my understanding. Um, like wow. And
Yeah.
Sean, we'll get to the Heat in a second. I want to let Armani jump. I want to let Armani jump back in here and talk about his Memphis pick
Yeah.
before he had technical issues.
I just think the qual. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
All right. I just think the qualities of the games is going to be like really, really tight, really, really close, really competitive, really entertaining. But I just think the inexperience of there's only so much. Just the inexperience of the Timberwolves is going to come into play. Like, of course, Pat Bev got playoff reps under his belt. D'Angelo Russell has playoff reps under his belt. But Cat, we all seen that when it's time for big moments, he don't show up, right? He can prove us wrong. It's still early, right? This is going to be his second time in the playoffs. He can prove us wrong. But I just think the Grizzlies are they're just so cohesive, right? They could just go out and just play the game. They're full with life, full with energy, and I just think that they're just gonna hit the Timberwolves in the mouth, straight up. Um, but like I said, the games are gonna be tight, but I just think the coaching of Taylor Jenkins, like, is definitely gonna be displayed. It's definitely gonna be on display for the series.
And
All
Chris
right.
Finch, and also Chris Finch from the Timberwolves head coach, he got away with one the other night,
Hmm.
letting
Yeah,
the
he
Carl
did.
Anthony Towns play with 3 fouls in the first half. It's just like, come on, man, you can't do that. You cannot do that.
Yeah. No, for sure. But yeah, back on the Eastern Conference. As you know, the Heat are playing the winner of the Hawks and the Cavs. I predicted if the Hawks come out as the 8th seed, I got the Heat in 6 games. I just feel like Trey Young at the end of the day, can get you a game. And the other game, I think it'll be close enough for the Hawks to pull one out, particularly at home in Atlanta. But I don't see them beating the Heat 4 times in this series at all. And if the Cavs prevail tonight, again, the Cavs don't have enough. I'm saying in 5 as a gentleman's sweep, but I'm really thinking 4. But I'm gonna say Heat in 5 if they play the Cavs, Heat in 6 if they play the Hawks.
Hmm.
So I have Heat in 6 over the Hawks. I just think that playing against Trey Young, he's good for winning at least 2 games in the series. Also, just need for the others to show up if they really have a chance to win the series. They're gonna have the
Yep.
others to show up.
Yep.
Also depending on if John Collins is available, if they get there.
If John
Um,
Collins is not available, they're losing in 5.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the mindset of they have everyone healthy back,
Hmm.
but if John Collins is not there, they have no one to check Bam. You're gonna put Capella on Bam like that? No.
Hmm. That's true. And also, if the Cavaliers advance, I got the Heat in 5 over the Cavs. I just think that with the struggles the Miami Heat have gone through, especially late in the season, they're gonna use this series as like a springboard to another series, to the second round series. Just like the Warriors, but also they've been like being overlooked all season
They really
as
have
the
not
one
not
seed.
not not for nothing. The Heat have been overlooked. No one really talks about them because everyone talks about the
Except for
Bucks.
Sean.
Everyone talks about either the
Except for
Bucks
Sean.
or obviously people talking about Brooklyn, the Sixers, of that nature. So yeah, the Heat definitely don't get the recognition they really deserve for being the number 1 seed and
Hmm.
being the best team, the best conference
Hmm.
all year.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Miami and Atlanta. I got Miami in 5. If it comes to, I got Miami in 5. Miami has just so many defensive players. They can just take turns on Trey Young. You
That's
know,
a good point. That's a good point.
even though you won't have Kyle Lowry as the primary defender on Trey Young, you could put Martin on him. You could put Butler on him. For some reason, they switch. You could PJ Tucker's on him. You got VO, right? So they have just so many different weapons they can throw at Trey Young. Now, here's what goes back to my question that I said earlier. If they, for whatever reason, right? I don't think you're gonna shut down. It's possible, maybe for a game or so, but you can make a great player feel uncomfortable, right? So if that happens, who is the next player on the Hawks that's going to step up? If there's
Yeah.
no John Collins, then
Hmm.
right, John Collins can't get his own shot, right? He has to be set up to get the lobs or the backdoor cuts and stuff like that. So if he can't get that, who else? Like Kevin Herter, he had an amazing run last year. Bogdan, he had an amazing run last year. Um, so who's going to be that next guy on the Hawks to be able to get them through that if you have all of these defensive wings constantly taking turns on Trey Young? I just think that's going to be really, really tough for the Hawks to get through. Like we all agree, like Trey Young, like you can never doubt Trey Young in big game moments. But for this one right here, for this series, I just think that the Miami Heat is going to have him on lock. For Cleveland, it I think I just think that the inexperience is going to kick in, especially what the Heat brings to the table. Like I just mentioned, like that toughness, that defensive minded that they play with. Eric Spoelstra is a really really good coach. I just think the inexperience is going to kick in. Now Cleveland, they might get a game, but Miami, they like we just said, like you guys just said, that Miami hasn't been talked about for the entire season, even though they was the best team in the conference. And I just think that they still have that chip on their shoulder that we seen back in 2020. Like, I forget what seed that they came in. I was
They
it
Four,
the
were
sixth,
they were
the
four seed,
fifth, fifth,
the
fifth,
the,
fifth,
the
fifth,
the
fifth,
fifth.
five
They
seed,
came
the five seed. Yeah,
they came in the fifth seed in the bubble, right? And even though when we all say that the best team in the bubble won, and they came in with that chip on their shoulder, and they was out here smacking teams. So I just think Miami, whoever they face, Miami in 5.
You know what's crazy? And shout out to Sean with this comment. He says, shout out to the Heat side of the playoff bracket. Really good
Yeah.
shot to making it. Yeah, yeah. They
Hmm.
have a deep run. That they have a really good shot of making a deep run because of the side of the bracket. And it's funny. It's why Sean saying that because I was just thinking as you were talking about how they kind of get overlooked. Everyone was kind of jockeying for position to avoid the Nets because everyone thought the Nets were going to get the AC.
Right.
And now the Heat are like, we did our part. We're just gonna try to lock up the 1 seed, and now we avoid the Nets until the Eastern Conference Final. Like,
Yep.
if that's not smart, I don't know. I don't know what
The only team Miami has to run in, and we'll get to that, is probably Philly.
Yeah,
That's it.
and as you said, that segue the next series, the 4-5 matchup is the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Toronto Raptors. Now, here
Mm.
this series,
Ah.
this this series is a complete toss up. And I
Yeah.
say this only because of one player, and that is James Harden. I don't know if James Harden is going to be able to show up in this series only because one, they played each other 4 times already this year, and they split. Okay. Not only that, the amount of length that they have, the Raptors, right, with
Hmm.
Siakam, OG Anunoby is going to be ready for game one. You know what I'm saying?
Scotty Barnes,
Scotty Barnes, Prince Achua,
Siakam.
Siakam, like they,
Gary Trent Jr.
yeah, but it's just defensively they're gonna bother James Harden a lot.
They can
Now there,
switch. They
now
can
there
switch
They
on
is
everything.
now
Raptors
now
are a 6'8"
now
wing factory.
now there is nobody on that roster that's gonna stop Joel Embiid from averaging 40 in this series,
Right.
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 and that may be enough to win, but I, I'm on the fence. But I'm gonna trust the Sixers, and I'm gonna say the Sixers win this series in 7. Um,
Mm.
because I just feel as if they won't be able to win convincingly with just Joel Embiid going off. They're gonna need James Harden to put up. It's like Shaq said. Shaq said that it's the simplest thing. Just give me 6 points a quarter. If you give me 6 points a quarter, what does that get you for James Harden? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if he can average that, you know, and at the very least, you know, can
And that's
give
like
you
two trips to the free throw line, a quarter.
that's easy. That's
That's it.
easy. That's easy for James
And a
Harden to
little
do.
layup. That's it.
Right. Or three. Give me
Right.
2 threes. He gives me three layups, right?
Yep.
And 2 threes each quarter. We're
Yep.
good. We're
Yep.
good.
That's
Get,
facts.
Yep.
give me 3 layups in the first quarter. Give me 2 threes in the second quarter. Give me another 2 threes in the third quarter. Give me 3 layups in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Also,
I
just sorry
go
just to
ahead.
cut you off. The season series, Raptors 3-1 over the Sixers.
Oh, pardon me. 3-1. But you know, again, I just you know they're gonna miss Matisse Thybulle
Mm-hmm.
in Toronto because he's not fully vaccinated, so he can't enter the country. The country kind of
He took one shot
yeah. Stephen A. Smith
and
called
not
him
the
the
other.
he got him, he gets the idiot of the award because like it's like how do you not know you got to take a second shot? How do you not know? He legit said that like oh I didn't know how to take a second shot. Like come on, dude. Like they tell you when your second shot is due.
Bro, they give him a card. They give him a
Yeah,
card.
yeah. They give you a card to tell you when's your next shot. Anywho, whatever. Um, I got the Sixers winning that series, but it's gonna be a dogfight for them. Um, and it's gonna have some implications going into the next series against the Heat because if Joel gotta put out all these minutes and gotta put out all this effort just to get through the Raptors, he is not gonna survive against the Heat. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
um I got the Sixers in 7. Just because the Sixers they blow leads, they come out like a daisical, their bench is suspect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just feel like the Raptors are a little bit more disciplined of a team. I just don't think that the sheer talent would trump them to win the series. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Sixers in 7.
I
Mhm.
this is tough. This is very, very tough. Um, I have hmm, I got the Sixers making it in 7. It's going to be a slug fight, and pretty much to your point, if Miami sees that Philly's having trouble with Toronto, they're going to even have more trouble with Miami for the reasons that I said when I was talking about the Miami and the Hawks. But James Harden is going to have to show up. We know Embiid is, but it's just James. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm. So for me, I'm going opposite. I'm going Raptors in 7. So
Mm.
here's my thing
Again
because,
with the Kawhi Leonard bounce.
but this time it's in Philly. Um,
Right.
the top.
Tough.
So you got the Sixers who are under immense pressure to win this series. Do I trust Doc Rivers and James Harden on the same team who both had playoff failures in the last couple years? I don't know, man.
For my own
I
agenda,
don't
for my own personal agenda, I need the Sixers to make a deep playoff run. Just I'm gonna put
I
that out there
don't
for you.
I don't think they're under pressure just to win the series. They're win the chip.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what
They
I
have to
see.
get they have to get out of
Right.
the first
Okay.
round.
Okay.
Yeah.
They,
So
yeah.
I just think that the Raptors, they're they are a 6'8" wing factory. I mean, you got the long arms. They can Nick Nurse. He might put in a box of one for Joel Embiid, and you never know with Nick Nurse
Well,
what type of defensive game
it's
plan he
hard. I
employs.
would say this: it's hard to do a boxing one if he's playing in the post.
Obviously, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like you never know what Nick Nurse might come up with. So also, and on top of that, I just like the way the Raptors are set up. Um, the Sixers, I don't like their bench. The fact that Matisse Thybulle won't be playing in games 3, 4, and 6 if necessary, that's a big problem because you need that defensive ace on the road if you're gonna get stops when the team you need stops to the winning games on the road in the playoffs. Also the James Harden factor, you never know when playoff James Harden shows up because he's gonna show up and
I
and it's
say this: I think James Harden shows up in the first round. It's the second round where he starts to have these no call, no shows.
That's true, but you never know when that player James Harden shows up, but he's gonna show up. I expect Embiid to have a monster series. There's no one on the Raptors that can guard him one straight up. But I'm just for the Sixers. I'm just worried about James Harden, and plus he hasn't played well in the last couple of weeks. They're shooting under 30%. What I've seen, and shooting under 40%.
Jalen Rose said that's like constant
He
tour
has a
date.
constant tour days, 4 for 15, 4 for 17, 4 for 19. So it's like I don't know. And remember when he first got to Philly, and there was a whole hoopla of him and Joel Embiid playing so well. I'm like, just wait, pump your brakes, just wait. What we're seeing right now is like now James Harden is gonna have to show up. There's no way that in Philly you're gonna struggle 4 for 15 in the game 5 series tied 2-2 ain't gonna get away with it. They buried Ben Simmons, and now it's gonna be real ugly if James Harden shows up with those stats and if he plays like that.
Yeah.
So I like the Raptors on 7.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be definitely an intriguing series for sure. Next series, I think this is going to be quick. Bucks, the number 3 seed versus the number 6 seed Chicago Bulls. Bucks in 4. There is no way in hell.
Jeez.
The Chicago Bulls are getting a game. No, they don't play defense now. They're without Lonzo. The tempo's really slow. Think about this. Think about the matchup issues that they're going to have. Patrick Williams is going to have to be guarding Giannis. Come on, like that's not fair. Chris Middleton is going to be guarded by Zach LaVine or DeMar
Giannis on the
DeRozan.
guard DeMar.
You see what I'm saying? So DeMar will get his to an extent. Zach will get his because they're just prolific scorers, is what they do. But they're getting swept, and I mean pretty handedly. I don't see this being much of a competitional series at all.
Yeah, I got Bucks in 5. It's like it's not going to be a competitive series. I'll give the Bulls maybe.
Wow, you're being nice.
I'm being nice to the Bulls because they haven't beaten no one in the top 3 in each conference.
That's what I'm saying. They're 0 for what 17.
Yeah, 0-17.
Like, they're frauds. I know. I don't mean to say it like in a bad way. Like they're just not there yet. They don't have the personnel to to combat against the team. I think on average they've lost to the Bucks this year, but average about 20 or more. Like, come on, like this is a joke. This is a joke.
and the fact that you got Alex Caruso gonna have to guard all those Drew Holiday and maybe Giannis
but not only that, it's not even Alex Caruso guarding them. Alex Caruso is gonna have to be the primary point guard. You're gonna have Drew Holiday hounding him, and Alex Caruso is not a traditional point guard. So I don't see I don't see a game. I don't see they're not no. They barely beat them. They barely made it a competitive game when they played the Bucks at home. On the road is even worse. I unfortunately, as good and exciting the Bulls season has been, it ends here. And it quickly, swiftly 4 games. So Giannis can get his scrimmage reps in and prepare for the real series that's going to be in the second round between either Boston or Brooklyn, because that's the series that Giannis really wants. That's the series that the Bucks are looking forward to between one of those 2 teams. Because I think, and we'll get to that next after the first round. But I think the winner of that matchup between either the Bucks or Celtics or Bucks or Nets are going to the finals. Sorry, Sean. So yeah, it's just one of those things. The Bulls have no chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll just give them 1 game maybe, but it's gonna be a quick and painless series.
Hell no.
Listen, it's gonna be quick and painless regardless.
I'm banking on a Chris Middleton no-show. That's what I'm banking on.
First of all, y'all remember LeBronto. Y'all remember what LeBron did to DeMar DeRozan. What y'all is about to do to DeRozan is about to be filthy, man. Like, I'm telling you, that Bulls team is so like Vucevic does not play defense to save.
Yeah.
Yo, it's bad. I'm telling you, it's like they're gonna get so exposed. And missing Lonzo is definitely gonna be a big piece for them. And then like come on, like Tristan Thompson, like what are we doing?
Yeah, it
Right.
makes no sense.
So move on to the next. So we all agree it's gonna be a short series. Bang, bang, bang. That's it. Next series, the series that everyone's talking about. The number 2 seed, Boston Celtics, versus the number 7 seed, Brooklyn Nets.
That's not fair, man.
As we stand today, as a Laker fan, this hurts. As we stand today, the Celtics have the number 1 offense, the number 1 defense, number 1 net rating in both categories. That is super impressive.
That's insane.
So
and also they went 26-6 since January. So
right, the best record in the league.
And they've been blowing out teams.
They've been on fire as of late. They've been playing well. Jason Tatum has been playing like an MVP candidate. They're missing Robert Williams. He's not going to be available for game 1. Obviously, the Nets are missing Ben Simmons. Here's I'm gonna get this out the way. People that think, oh, Ben Simmons could do what Bruce Brown does, and why can he do that in 5 to 10 minute spurts? First of all, people understand how basketball works, okay? And it's not that simple. You have a ball handler whose primary position is a point guard. That's the first thing you have to do. Is him and Bruce Brown are 2 different complete players. Bruce Brown does not facilitate the offense. So leave that comparison out. There's no way in hell you're telling me Ben Simmons can do what Bruce Brown does. He does more than that.
Who said that?
Listen, I'm not gonna say no names live on the podcast.
All right.
I'll send you the tweet though. I'll send you the tweet because you definitely know him. I'll send you the tweet.
Oh.
I didn't even comment. I just looked at it and said, "Look at this. This is foolish. This is foolish."
Talking nonsense.
And he was arguing like because Tim Legler had posted something, and then like he responded to Tim Legler about about this situation. Tim never responded, obviously, but it's just for him to like because Tim Legler made this a point yesterday on First Take. Like you're not gonna just drop him in and then
right
because Stephen A was all like, all he needs to do is this and this will be fine. No, that's not how it works. Like Stephen A's lives in a fantasy land.
You need reps. Like get back to shape.
We need more basketball people in basketball talk.
He hasn't played since June.
Right. You got that. He didn't have to play since June. Think about this. So you mean to tell me I'm gonna say, you know what? Ben Simmons is ready to play. It's game 5. Series is tied 2-2. We're going into game 6. We're going into game 6, and Ben Simmons is ready. So you mean to tell me, in a pressurized situation, in a must-win game, whether the Nets are up 3-2 or down 3-2, you're going to tell me you're going to throw in Ben Simmons and say, yo, let's get ready to ball. All of a sudden, KD and Kyrie, they know their spots where they're supposed to go, how the plays being ran. Nash has all these plays orchestrated and how the team's going to run the offense.
That's going to be a disaster.
Then what also was super cap that the Nets sent out was that we're waiting for his ramp up. He's going to be playing in 5-on-5. Newsflash: NBA players when they practice during the playoffs don't play 5-on-5. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't make sense either. During practice during the playoffs, they don't play 5-on-5. They run through stuff. They go through film. And they prep for the next game in that series. They don't practice 5-on-5 in scrimmage contact. They don't do that. So Ben Simmons is not coming back to series. May he come back game 1 if they advance to the second round? I can see that. But if you're gonna tell me he's gonna come back in games 4 or 5 or even 6 and then expect them just to be like, oh, this is easy. No, it's not gonna happen. Now, that's out the way. With that being said, my prediction: Brooklyn Nets in 7. The only reason why I'm going to say Brooklyn Nets in 7 is because Kevin Durant. We're going to see some generational stuff this series. And if you don't understand the demeanor that Kevin Durant has right now, and the approach he's taking at these games, I'm telling you right now. Do I think Jason Tatum's not going to be able to match that? Yes, he will. Listen, he's put up 56 on them. He's put 50 multiple times against this Brooklyn Nets team. They're terrible defensively, but offensively, right now as I'm looking, the Nets have the number 9 defense. They're a top 10 defense as we speak right now. They're a top 10 defense, and they have the number 4 best offense. That's you could roll the dice with that, man. And the efficiency and if Ramadan Kyrie comes out like he did against Cleveland in Boston. Listen, we're in for a show. That's what I'm gonna say. We're in for a show. And what 2 best players are going to that hostile environment and quiet the crowd? Those 2. Now, collectively, yes, the Celtics have a better team. I just think it's gonna get to 7, and when the pressure's on, it's Kevin Durant. Like, think about this. Think about these close games that the Nets have had, over the course of the years. And Kevin Durant's taking that last shot, whatever. It's pretty much money all the time, or if not money, close to it. Like, he's gonna hit the shot, or I just feel like I don't know. For some reason, for me, I'm just gonna go with the Nets in 7. It's gonna the best 2 series. Honestly, we're gonna see is Grizzlies and T-Wolves, Nets and Celtics. To me, the both 2 7s are gonna be the best series of these playoffs. So, to me, I'm gonna go Brooklyn Nets in 7. Because of missing out on Robert Williams, I don't know when he's going to come back. That's huge for them. So, I just Kyrie and KD are just too. They're the best offensive tandem we've probably seen all time.
Okay. I'm gonna just keep it.
I can never bet again. I can never bet with the Celtics. I can't. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna keep it short and say Brooklyn is 6.
I need the Celtics far away from number 18 as possible. We got to get that. That's happening next year, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, so yeah, man. I feel you. Go ahead, Eric. We already know where you're gonna go, Eric. But go ahead.
Man,
it's a toss-up, man. It's really a toss-up.
It's really a toss-up. Well, I got Celtics in 7. Just the fact that they got Game 7 at home, but it's
understandable.
I know, but I got Celtics in 7. Here's my theory. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are going to keep this Nets team in this series. Okay, so they're going to average at least 60 to 75 points easy in the series, right? So Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, if they can at least keep up with them, then maybe we can see the others, like what the Celtics have with their defense. And I think the X factor is going to be between Marcus Smart and Bruce Brown. I think that match is going to be the X factor that determines the series. Whoever contributes defensively more, and who also can get those extra baskets that they need in the close games. I think those two guys, if whoever plays better is going to win the series. The Robert Williams injury is a major factor. And I think if he was healthy, Celtics win this series in 6 easy. But I also heard that he might come back in Game 6. So there's a possibility that he might return.
We're not. See, here's the thing. We're not doing this little. Just throw him in there, pressurized situation, and it's gonna be good. Like it's. I get it. I understand. But like, you're in a series. There's a certain ebbs and flows. There's a certain you have a rotation that you're going through. Like, I get it. If Robert Williams is ready for the next round and the Celtics are up 3-2, that's fine. Robert Williams, we'll see you next series. But I'm not going to throw you in there when, let's just say, you throw Robert Williams in there Game 6, and now the rhythm of Al Horford is off, or Daniel Tice's rhythm is off. Like, it just, you kind of mess up, rotational minutes and stuff like that.
But I think it's different because with Ben Simmons, he hasn't played the whole season.
I know, I
Robert
get that.
Williams,
No.
Robert Williams, he's come up on the 4-week threshold. So they still remember the Celtics, they play without Robert Williams for the whole 3-week stretch, and they play well down the stretch.
Yeah.
I think it's
good
different.
points. Good
I
points.
think it's much different, but also, um, defensively, this is. So I think, and also we don't talk about the Nets defense because they're saying, oh, the Nets defense is bad, this and that. If they can hold their own,
Bro, they're top 10
they're
defense
top 10 defense, right?
right now.
So
So
if they can really hold their own against the Celtics, who can like who can whose defense is like in the top 3 in the league, and also
they're number one.
they're number 1, right? So I think this is gonna be a toss-up series, but I like the Celtics in 7, barely. So but Katie and Katie and Kyrie, they can like win this series alone. So
Yeah.
that's the
Listen.
thing. So I like
Um
this. I like the Celtics in 7.
cool. Nah, perfect. Hey, it's gonna be an interesting playoff series coming up, between all these teams, and it's gonna be exciting games that we're gonna witness for sure. So history will be made, some memories will be made, and some new superstars may come out of this. So yeah, that's all we got for today. Enjoy the play-in. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully
Playoffs
we
start
get some.
tomorrow.
Yeah, playoffs start tomorrow, and hopefully tonight we get some really like what I don't want to see, because I'm almost of the we don't need the 9 and 10 like teams. Because they were legit just one sided. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the 7-8 is a little bit closer.
Maybe
Like I
we
feel
don't need.
like
Maybe we
I
don't
feel
need the Hornets or Spurs each year in the 9-10 playing.
right, but but I also think there should be a threshold. Like you need to be within X amount of games to be qualified for a play-in. You know what I'm saying? Or like, and if you're not qualified, then the 7-8 team will battle it out. If the 7-8, if the 8 seed wins, they get the 7, and the 7 gets the 8, and then move on.
So also we just got breaking news. Luka Doncic is out for Game 1, and significant concerns remain for availability in Game 2 from Woj.
Significant.
That's from Woj.
Yeah, Jazz are winning the series. Yeah. So like I said, guys, you know what I'm saying? Look forward to, these couple games coming up this weekend. It's like Christmas because it's gonna be high level basketball.
Only thing is the Lakeshore ain't in it.
Listen, but they don't deserve to be
They don't
talked
deserve
about.
to be in
Yeah,
there.
they
They
don't.
don't deserve to be talked
Damn,
about.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric, slow your roll.
I
Slow
know
your
my
roll.
team
Yeah,
doesn't deserve to
slow
be
your
in there
Damn,
roll.
too.
Eric.
Because I don't know. I wait. You see these? You know what that is hanging back there? What's that hanging back there? What's that hanging back there? Okay, right. So slow your roll, Eric. Slow your roll. I was a little bit too much bass in your voice in that. And yeah, I ain't supposed to be in there. Yeah, neither are the Knicks. Y'all never in
It was better when my team was in last year.
there. Anywho, at least we won 2 games in the first round. Needless to say, as we conclude today's episode 23, again, just follow us, guys. Like, subscribe to our channels. Follow us on Instagram. Get in tune with the conversation because we have some really good stuff and some really good content. So until next time,
Peace.
peace.